Your presence is going to make it a delightsome program this morning. What do we have today for our viewer?
Today we have a lot of, interesting packages for our viewers, and I hope you enjoy every bit of it. And today on the program we have our weekly mirror segment, where we'll be discussing the International Day to End Impunity for Crime and Crimes Against Journalists. And also we have the entertainment segment, whereby we'll go into the entertainment world to know what is happening there, and I hope you enjoy it too. And then we go into the sports segment, where we give you the highlights of sports activities across the globe.
All right, thank you very much, Toluwanimi, for that rundown, and I believe that our guests, viewers are relaxed and to at least enjoy every bit of the program today. All right, now we are going to engage in a short break now, where we're going to bring you a video, like Toluwanimi told us that we're going to have we are going to focus on our weekly mirror segment on the International Day to End Impunity for Crimes Against Journalists. We're going to have a short video that is going to highlight how to end impunity for crimes against journalists. After then, our guests will be coming in. Please don't go away. But before we have that video, let me quickly give us a kind of rundown of the activities for today. November 2nd has been designated the World Day to End Impunity Against Journalists the world over, and the day brings to the front burner alarming rates of violence and threats against journalists the world over. And according to UNESCO, between 2006 and 2004, over 1,700 journalists were killed globally, with nearly 90% of those cases remaining unsolved in courts. And in Nigeria, a 2024 report has it that there were 45 reported cases of attacks on journalists, affecting 17 journalists and 3 media outlets. And security operatives are most frequent perpetrators, accounting for 28 cases out of 45 in Nigeria. And the theme for this year's observance is safety of journalists in crisis and emergency. Please sit back and watch this video. After then, we'll be introducing our guest to you.
These are journalists. Your perception of them might be positive or negative, depending on your view. But have you considered that they are protecting your right to public information? The information we receive shapes our world. But imagine if those who protect our access to it are removed by people who want to prevent certain information becoming public. What world would that shape?
She's a journalist! Get your hands off her!
In 2010, 2 young journalists working as interns for a local Mexican newspaper were sitting in a parked car outside of a mall when gunmen opened fire, killing 21-year-old Luis Carlos Santiago Orozco and severely injuring his 18-year-old colleague. The killers fled, but the operation was indicative of a drug cartel settling a score. The cartel's target was the newspaper the victims worked for because, unlike some other media agencies in the city, their newspaper had still been reporting on drug war-related crimes. However, this was the second killing of one of its journalists in 2 years, which led the newspaper to respond with a front-page editorial addressing the cartels. In it, they directly asked them what they should be publishing to avoid further death, injury, and intimidation of its staff. This is how a zone of silence begins, where reporting is no longer independent but controlled by those with power, like drug lords, corrupt officials, businessmen, and politicians. A zone where people cannot access information freely because journalists feel too threatened to report the news. Crimes against journalists are not just limited to a handful of countries. They occur anywhere where the powerful and corrupt want to hide the truth. That means in almost every country, attacks against journalists are committed, including harassment, intimidation, arbitrary imprisonment, kidnappings, violent attacks, and murder. Since 1993, 1,438 journalists have been killed, but the more shocking fact is that for every 10 cases of journalists murdered, only one ends in successful prosecution of the perpetrators. These killings include those dying while reporting armed conflict, but the majority are killed in countries without armed conflict, where journalists are uncovering local stories that some would prefer hidden. In many cases, those involved in these crimes are powerful enough to obstruct investigations and justice, but in other cases, impunity comes from bottlenecks within the justice system itself. In some countries, it's due to justice systems lacking human and financial resources. In others, it's due to corruption and a lack of transparency. While in some cases, it's a lack of knowledge of good practices to investigate these crimes. This often results in the killing of a journalist just being considered a common crime that has no connection to their profession. These shortcomings in justice systems lead to cases taking many years to resolve, if at all. They represent a breakdown in security and the rule of law, which furthers the cycle of violence against journalists. And where does this lead? To the expansion of global zones of silence. Zones where only powerful people decide the news you hear. Zones which violate our freedom of expression and our collective right as a society to access information. So, how do we solve this? The way forward starts with acknowledging the complexity of these crimes and considering them as crimes against freedom of expression, not just individuals. Central to solving this issue are judicial actors, those responsible for investigating and prosecuting these crimes. Collective knowledge of how to break the cycle of impunity is required to solve the issue, and efforts are currently being made to address this. UNESCO, for instance, is offering global online training aiming to increase the understanding of international freedom of expression standards among judicial actors and law enforcement agencies. Support is being offered to journalists for their legal battles against attacks to silence them. And investigative journalist networks are working to resolve the crimes against their fellow journalists while uncovering the stories that the perpetrators attempted to hide. But this is just a start. The solution still requires the collective efforts of member states, United Nations agencies, civil society organizations, regional human rights courts, and all judicial actors. So, if you're an actor in the judicial system, you can learn from successful prosecutions of crimes against journalists in other parts of the world and use these teachings to pursue cases in your own country. Because the best way to protect our journalists, to protect our collective rights, is not to give up on these cases, but to bring the perpetrators to justice. As always, the solution begins with awareness of the problem. So, by sharing this message, even if you feel that you're not directly involved, you are contributing to a global effort to end crimes against journalists and protecting freedom of expression and information.
While the minor unit is the kobo, they are both in notes and coins. The naira is more than just a medium of exchange. It bears the images of our heroes. So, stop abusing the naira. It is a criminal offense to spray the naira at events. Stop stepping on the naira. It's not your enemy. Do not squeeze, ruffle, or write on the naira. Handling the naira with dirty or oily hands can deface the naira. Love the naira as you love yourself. Be a real Nigerian. Do not abuse the naira.
Have you been aspiring to be a student of the prestigious Ahmadu Bello University Zaria to no avail? Worry no more, as you can gain entry through NTA Television College Jos, an affiliate of the renowned Ahmadu Bello University Zaria, where eligible candidates with a JAMB admissible scores of not less than 180 and 100 scores and with 5 credits O-level in social sciences including English and mathematics can turn their passion in broadcasting to profession by applying for a BSc in mass communication and MBA PTE-approved innovation diploma courses in film and television production, broadcast journalism, and television engineering, respectively. The college, as a training hub with a pedigree of professionalism in the media space, also offers specialized courses in other related fields. For more information, visit our website at www.ntatvc.edu.ng or contact 080-33-834-343 and 080-69-809-897. Announcer Management.
And welcome back. In case you're just joining us on the program this morning, this is Dynamic Diet coming live to you on the Nigeria Television Authority, Channel 11, the dynamic station here in Akure. And now we are on the weekly mirror segment, and our guest is here with us.
Well, thank you very much for that. Right now we are having in the studio with us a seasoned journalist, a media manager. He is the Ondo State Council Chairman of the Nigerian Union of Journalists, Prince Leke Adegbite. You're welcome to the program.
Good morning, and I greet our people at home.
Well, Prince Leke, let me start with this. Today we're celebrating the International Day to End Impunity for Crimes Against Journalists. Let me ask, what is the significance of this day?
Thank you very much. Let me appreciate NTA for always being in the forefront of projecting press protection, media protection. The purpose of today's celebration, which is coming up tomorrow, that is every November 2nd, but for the knowledge of our people in a simple way, International Day to end impunity crime against journalists is basically to raise awareness and to raise issues around justice for journalists who have been attacked or killed in one way or the other, so in the course of delivering their duties. So, and it is also a day to remind everybody, to remind those in authority, and to also remind people who journalists are serving, whose press are serving, that on the need to protect these all important people who are. Look at it today. Now everybody will feel that today is weekend, you should be at home. Look at everybody in this particular station and other radio, television stations, newspapers. They are on duty just to serve the public. So that is the reason that we must all be in the forefront of protecting the press, right, and to protect the practitioner, the professionals of the industry.
Well, before we go, because I know that my colleague will also have some questions to ask, but let me bring this one in. You know, the media has over the years been regarded as the fourth estate of the realm, considering happenings, especially attacks and the rest on the media, the embarrassing situations they face. Do you think that we have actually been treated that way, especially in this part of the world?
Yes. When people don't understand, when they refer to the press, the media, as the fourth estate of the realm, does not basically mean, we know we have three arms of government. We have the executive, judiciary, and the legislature. So the media, which is the fourth, does not basically mean that we are part of the government. No. The implication is that we represent the people. We are the mouthpiece. We are we protect the interests of the people, and there is no way that you can talk about the people without talking about the media. So when you refer to fourth estate of the realm, referring to media like that, is basically to show people that we are their representative. Nobody to talk for them, nobody to relate what the government, those in government, what they have for the people, and what people want government to do. Nobody can do it. No entity can do it except the media.
The question is, have we really been given that pride of place, that importance, accorded that importance?
Yes, yes. In other part of the world, we have enormous. They have enormous respect for the press freedom, unlike here in Nigeria, that you will see the level of impunity that we are suffering in this country. That is the media. Starting from the welfare package, what is the take home of the work we are putting every day? So that is a kind of a crime against us. You cannot be giving me, as a staff, as a journalist, as a media worker, when you close, you don't know when you will close at work. When you resume, you only when the job finishes. That is when you can leave. And even leaving is not the normal time of leaving. And you are being given peanuts that they will give the same civil servant who will close at 2 o'clock or 4 o'clock. So it's a kind of crime against the press. In Nigeria, we have very poor remuneration. And going forward, today you will see, when you go to a public function, you will see security men, they will be pushing journalists as if they are not stakeholders. I used to tell them in Ondo State here that you cannot, if you are a security man, you are there to perform duty of protecting the people, including the journalists who are in that particular function. So you also have responsibility to know. Your consciousness should tell you that these people, the way you have responsibility under the law, that is the way media also have responsibility under the law to cover such event or cover that such assignment, particularly those in the public interest. So you cannot attack journalists at event and you can't do this, you can't do that. So I always advise them, and glory be to God, in Ondo State today, we have a kind of robust relationship with security agencies in the state. And over time, unlike what was happening before, that today they respect the media professionals, and we also give them their own respect. Because when you look at the record, security personnel, they commit more, or they committed more crimes against journalists. And the last one that we recorded in Ondo State, it was also caused by a media hit to a particular governor from Kogi State, a former governor. So, and what is really giving us concern is that whenever we have attack on journalists, particularly the one caused by security personnel, there is no proper investigation across the country now. Talking about Nigeria, security personnel, security agencies need to do more to protect the media. However, in Ondo State, like I said, we are doing well in terms of protecting. The union has always been in the forefront of protecting the press freedom. We don't tolerate crimes against journalists. The only area that we are still working on, and we see to the end, is a situation whereby they will send, they will be using, they will hide number to be calling journalists, to trade journalists. These things still persist, particularly when you do a report that affects a particular personality in society. So they will send all manner of people after journalists. But to God be the glory, in the last 5-10 years in Ondo State, the crimes against journalists that we've recorded is less than 3. So, but in the country generally, the story is not palatable, because a situation whereby they will attack, they will close down media organization, they will use armed robber tactics. Look at the lady working with Rise Television, who was killed. They said armed robber attack, so armed robbery attack. So, but we feel that maybe some people somewhere, maybe she has done a report or done something on here that they want to divert attention. So this particular, a case like this should be investigated properly. And I also want to appeal to professionals in our state, in the country. They should allow journalists to do their job. They should not use soft blackmail that if you are journalists must do this or must do that. We are trained and we know what to do. So, to answer your question, the story is not still palatable in our country when it comes to crimes against journalists. We still have a long way to go, because if you are not being paid well, you cannot be paid to say they are paid the way they are paying others is a crime against the media professionals. So, and if you are still going to assignment and some police officers, DSS or army, we will not tolerate that. And like I said, we have been having a robust relationship with them. Last time that we had a particular incident involving military men, so they wrote to us and a kind of or delay punishment for the officers, the army, the soldier that's involved in that particular incident. So, and we are happy with the kind of result or feedback that we got on that particular incident. So, and most crimes usually happen during election. Politicians, they are always desperate. They don't want them to be exposed. For instance, you have been in office for 3-4 years and you want to recontest, and you don't want people to ask you questions. It will not work. So, and it is only through journalists, through the media, that the people can ask questions. So, we continue our democracy. We enjoy more press freedom under democracy, and our democracy is not. We are still struggling, though we are more than 26 years since 1999, but we are still struggling. But we believe that with time, things will get better. But our position is that once the remuneration is okay for media professionals, once the security are well grounded in how to manage press when they get to function, they should see us as partner in progress. So, and once we have a kind of protection, so nobody will just enter your studio because you are hearing a particular report. Nobody will enter your studio to come and be attacking journalists and media workers. So with all this, we are not there. Our country is still far. So, and even the funding of media organizations owned by federal government, owned by state government, we are not still happy with it. So, because look at the equipment that media organizations are using. So nobody. Look at our newspaper operators. They don't have enough resources because the advent of AI, the advent of digital media has really put pressure on the traditional media. Today, if you are not on digital, on social media platforms, as a media organization, traditional media organization, you will not be relevant. So, and this has also taken away jobs, has also taken away what we can refer to as the source of income for media organizations. So, some of these challenges amount to crime against journalists.
Okay, so I would like to ask you, sir, what are some of the most effective ways to counter online harassment and threats against journalists, which have become increasingly, happening in the recent time?
We are talking about, digital media. Let me pick an aspect of digital media, which is social media. The social media is an unguided platform. When we were in school, we were taught gatekeeping in journalism. So gatekeeping means before we can come to this program, some people behind the scene might have screened what you want to do. So they might have screened, okay, this is the topic that we want to use. This is the number of hours. This is what we are going to discuss. So that is gatekeeping. And if it is news, when you write news, you have your editors to vet before you can hear it. So this is editor. We have a video editor. We have a news editor, and so on. So that are gatekeepers. So, but in the case of social media, there is no gatekeeper. So you just pick your Facebook account and send whatever you want to send, or Twitter, which is now X, Instagram. You post whatever you want to post. So, however, what we have encouraged, to answer the question, what we have encouraged our colleagues who are professionals is to ensure that they are also populating the social media platforms. For instance, if we have the case of fake news, disinformation, misinformation. So we have, for instance, if you know there is Facebook page for NTA, or there is a X account for NTA where you can verify any information. So you can easily go there without going to the roadside personality that just post something because he has an Android phone. So what we have said is that what we have encouraged our members, our colleagues, is to also be part of the social media platform, to be part of the digital media, which is multidimensional. But once you know, for instance, you have a friend, if you post something as a staff of NTA, your friend will believe it than if somebody who is working at Ojaoba posts a similar thing or post another thing. So that is why the best way we have encouraged people to counter disinformation, misinformation, fake news, and unnecessary posts that can set society on fire is for journalists to also be part of the system. They must be updating their platforms. People must look at our national dailies, look at our television stations. They all have Facebook account. They have all social media platforms account. So this is for people that are looking for information to go there and get whatever they want. So without going to the what we call the carrier of a fake news, so that can set society on fire. So basically, we encourage our people to embrace, to know where they verify. They should fast check whatever they have seen. Their own fast checking, they may not have the technical know-how to fast check to the way we have been taught. But the best way is, if you see any information, don't share it. Just go to all the recognized media organizations so that you know. Go to their Facebook or social media account and check. Maybe such information is there. So it's better to share that of their own, which has been verified, which has been cleared, which has been the gatekeeper has already screened such thing before it will go out. So I think that's all I can say about that.
Well, thank you very much, Prince Deke, for coming on this program, but time will not permit us, because I know if we allow you, you will continue speaking. The next 1 hour will still be here. Yeah. But because of our time, because we are time bound on this program, let me ask what message you would like to convey to journalists who are facing threats and intimidation, and what support can they expect from the NUJ?
Yes, we have always been there for them nationwide, and the voice of NUJ is very strong, and worldwide. It is the only registered body for journalists, practicing journalists in the country, and we have always been defending the interests of our members, defend the interests of professional media professionals. So all we will continue to do is, particularly in Ondo State here, we will continue to encourage them to do their job professionally. Once you are on the side of the ethics of the profession, you don't fear anything. Do the job as entails, as dictated by the law, that is a media law. So once you do that, you will not be afraid of anybody. If today, I want to assure you, and I want to tell you categorically, that no journalist in Ondo State is in court for any infraction. That is to tell you that journalists in Ondo State, they are a crop of best professionals you can find anywhere. So I will encourage them to continue to do their job professionally. Don't mind people that want to put pressure on you that you should do it like this. Is every politician they want something that will favor them. So let them be professional, and let me also encourage them that on the part of the union, we are working on media enhancement bill with the stakeholders. You will observe recently that the president of NUJ with the national officers, they were at the National Assembly, they were at the Minister's Office, Minister of Information. It is to bring all the stakeholders together to have a law that will protect the interests of journalists and media professionals at large, so that whatever will be taken home, it will be gazetted, not the normal, not the trash that they are giving us. They call salary now. That is not commensurate with what we are putting. So the same bill will also protect us that you must have certain amount of money before you can establish radio station or television station. At the end of the day, after running it for 3 months, you will not be able to pay salary. That will not happen if such bills get through. So we are working. It is not easy. Rome was not built in a day, but we will continue to do our best to protect the interests of our members and all the media professionals in Ondo State and in the country. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Prince Leka Adibike, for being my guest this morning, and I hope when I invite you next, you oblige our invitation. Well, it's wonderful speaking with the Ondo State NUJ chairman, and he has talked about the International Day to End Crimes, to end the impunity for crimes against journalists, and we have heard even all what the union has in store for their members. On this program this morning, we are going to continue with our entertainment segment. Please don't go away.